I'm muted? Yeah. I was talking with myself. Thank you. This is one of the disadvantages of online classes. I was introducing myself. I said, my name is Ismail. I have a PhD in computer science. I have a master degree, and I finished my master degree in computer engineering. My PhD was in Lille University. It is in France. You can see my French accent. And my master was in Duisburg-Essen University. It is a university in Germany. I have industrial experience in cloud computing and web host and web programming, plus data science and data warehousing. And also, I have been giving such kind of courses a long time ago, even though before I start with UFV. This is an introductory course. So there is another course, CIS 245. I think you will going to, I'm also giving this course now. And I have already given this course before. So this course will be an introductory course to give you the introduction about web programming. But to be honest, in order to make a real website, a dynamic real website, you have to finish CIS 245. I will do my best during this online classes to do it in the same and with the same efficiency level as if you are in campus. However, I believe always that in-class courses they are better efficient comparing to online courses or online classes. So your attendance is required as if you are in campus. We will talk about attendance later during this lecture. I will be your team, not your instructor, and this is somehow, there is a difference between both of them. So being an instructor, which means that I have also to talk and you have to listen to me, and then I have to talk and then you listen to me as if you are client server. We will talk about it. It's not like the case. We are a team, which means that we are trying to figure it out with each other. Whenever you have any question, just go ahead and raise your hand and go ahead and ask your questions. Sometimes I will ask for your suggestion concerning the content. There is no specific textbook needed in this course. All these lectures will be recorded. I will upload them in the same day. I will upload them in the YouTube because YouTube will give you the option to make automatic captions. So if you want to see the caption with the audio, and I will publish the link in the Blackboard plus the PDF file for the lecture note. And I will add for the different references at the beginning in the same, like here, I will add here, for example, later and during these lectures, I will add different references if you want to go to further information about the lecture material, so you can refer to these references. So the lectures are sufficient plus different online resources. So no need to buy a specific textbook for this course in this case. As I said, no prerequisite. Online resource, and there is no prerequisite, but you should be familiar how to work with, you should have a minimum computer skills in order that you can go ahead with this course. So before we go to talk about more about the course content, let's talk about the course administration. So the grading schema, it will be like this. We will have, as I have already published in the syllabus, we will have attendance and participation, 10%. What I mean by attendance and participation. So as I said, so even though we'll be online, our return on the campus, it was the same. So people who will show always in the class and will be active during the class. So they are going, in this case, they will get the full grade for the 10%. By the way, 10% is not it is an important impact in the whole grade, because when we said 10%, which means that this 10% can change your grade from A minus to A, from A to A plus. So don't say, okay, 10% doesn't matter. No, it will matter. I normally, at the end of the course, I receive many emails from students asking, please, I'm very close to get the A grade or to get the A plus grade, or can you help me with this? So if you are a person that you have a high grade and in the for participation and attendance, which means that you always show on the course, and in this case, I will not say, okay, if you don't show for a minimum number of attendance, I mean you will not pass the exam. I will not do this up to the university policy, but for my policy, there will be part from the assessment or the final grade part in this based on your attendance and participation. If you see here, there is no midterm. Okay, the question say, okay, why there is no midterm? Because I believe this course is a practical course. I want you to more practice. I don't want to go to have a paper-based assessment. No, I want you to focus more about the project and assignment. Assignment, they are going to be individual assignment. The project is going to be a group work project. I think after 2 weeks, something like this, I start to break you down to group work. I will not do it now till we finish add and drop to be sure that all the student list is somehow fixed in the course. So this is a good opportunity. There is no midterm. However, you are going to have a real nice project. It has a 30%. It is a group work. I expect that you are going to do it in a group way, and then there are going to be a presentation for this. We'll talk about it later about the project. But I will do my best that after 2 or 3 weeks to break you down in order to start know each other, and later you can do this project with each other. The assignment, they are going to be individual. Also, you are going to upload the assignment solution using Blackboard, and I will publish the assignment in the Blackboard. So we expect to have 3 to 4, minimum 3, and we can have up to 4 assignments. The assignment will be more practical assignment, which means that ask you to do a very small tasks to be sure that you understand the knowledge about this course and all this stuff. I talk about attendance, so we will have our weekly online live session. The live session will be almost for 2 hours. I know that it is not easy to stay for a long time at the computer. Listening too much information, but I will do my best to do it as easy as we can in order to have more enjoyable lecture, and then it will not be very tough one. As I said, all online session will be recorded. Today we start recording, and I will share with them in the Blackboard, as I said, after I upload them in the YouTube channel. The teaching philosophy is interactive learning. Interactive learning. What I mean by interactive learning, that I believe that learning is not, as I said, to do it as a coach and a teamwork. My job is to lead you, to orient the knowledge for you, not to manage you. And this is totally different. Which means that I will do my best that I will let you or excite you to ask me questions. And I suppose that you will be somehow interactive in a way to be very positive and during the class in order that you benefit, because open discussion with a student, it will be more beneficial comparing to go ahead and just give them the knowledge like this. Because this discussion others will benefit more, sometimes more than the two partners as they make these discussions. Concerning office hours, so far I will be in my office in Chiliwa campus. When we be back in the campus in Abbotsford, I will see if I can, because we have office limitation in Abbotsford campus. However, I will have in Tuesday and in Friday office drop-in office, which means that you can come to my office without any appointment based on this timetable, and you can ask me whatever you want. And also, I will make an online virtual office hour. So people, they have a question, and they, even though after the live session, or when we return back to campus, so making this virtual online, using the Zoom. I have already published the Zoom in the Blackboard, so you can go ahead to the Blackboard and double check the Zoom link, and go ahead and join the virtual office hour if you need some questions and you need one-to-one discussion. But for the online one, based on my experience, you need to book a time, because sometimes we'll have different students maybe from other section, in order to have your own time slot. So it's better that you send me an email, and I will do my best to find you a free time slot within this timetable whenever you want to have a private virtual meeting with me. So with the online live session that weekly we will do it till we return back to the campus, there will be virtual office hour. Who want to join them, just drop email before to book for him a slot to join it if you have any question about this. I will be happy. And if you don't have time to join and still you have a question, the virtual office hour, you can drop my email. Normally I will reply within the same day. Sometimes it's the next day, but I will do my best to reply in the same day in this case. So what we are going to learn in this course. Before I will go to this, let me know more about you, and I will ask you this question. I will go to see. Okay, Aiden. I'm saying your name in correct way, Aiden? A-I-D-E-N, Aiden. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, people whose name start with alphabet A always will hate this, because they will be the first people they ask them questions. What do you think, Aiden?
I don't have any questions now.
Yeah, sorry. I want to ask you a question. First, what do you expect from this course?
I expect to learn how to publish a website using
What do you mean
HTML.
publish a website?
Like put a website out that other people can access to see pictures and stuff, or whatever I put on the website.
Yes. So we expect that at the end of this course, you are going to make a real website that people that can have some information about you, about your company, whatever it is.
Yeah, something.
However, are we going to have a very real website? Are you still here, Aiden?
Yeah, I'm here.
So I think that yes, I agree with you that during this lecture we are going to learn how we are going to make a website. However, still this website will be a static one, which means that there are some information on or some images, some videos that the user who is going to access this website can see them. However, there will not be a control panel or admin page that this content can be easily updated by the owner of this website. So the programmer always has to go to make the hard code, because what we are going to learn is the client-side code, not the server-side code. And this is what I said, that in CIS 245, you are going to learn about the server-side code. Is it clear, Aiden?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, another from the alphabet A, before we go to other alphabets. Arman.
Hi,
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How was your holiday?
It was good.
Where do you live? You live here in Abbotsford, or?
Yeah, Abbotsford.
So there is a lot of snow, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, what do you expect from this course?
I expect to learn how to make a website and learn HTML coding, scripting.
Okay. By the way, what is HTML?
HTML, it's a coding language that allows you to make websites, like the front end, like pictures and what's displayed on the front of the website.
Do you know what it stands for? HTML? Why that's named HTML? What it stands for?
No, I don't.
Okay. We will learn this during the lecture. Thank you so much, Armin.
No problem.
Batul Sida.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
How was your day so far?
It was good, yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what do you expect from this course?
Learning to program, code, build static websites.
Do you have already started with another coding or programming course, or still not yet?
No, but I have done an online course for web programming, so I have kind of a basic knowledge of HTML, CSS.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You will help us then. So what is HTML stand for?
HTML, it stands for...
HTML, so originally YH, YT, YM, YL.
Hypertext Markup Language.
Perfect. So what is hypertext? Why they name it So hypertext markup language, which means as a language that you use it to create a hypertext.
Yeah.
I can understand this. So what is hypertext?
It's a language that allows you to...
No, wait. Hypertext. We said HTML, it is hypertext markup language. So it is a programming language. We use it to create a hypertext.
Mm-hmm.
So the question now it is, what is hypertext? Don't worry, Batul. I don't. When I make this discussion, just let's all of us that think about it. So even though you don't have an answer, I don't expect you have an answer for all my questions. And if you have all answers, so I don't have to be here. Okay. Thank you so much, Batul.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm saying your name in a correct way.
Yeah.
Just anyone correct for me. Just I need. Yeah, I need to pronounce the names in a correct way. So now what about Elliot? Elliot. Elliot, yeah, is correct? Are you here? We can't hear you. If you have the same problem like me, maybe you are mute or something like this. We can't hear you. So even though now we can't hear you also. I'm sorry. Maybe, yeah, go ahead.
Hear me now?
Yeah, but you have to speak somehow loudly.
Hi.
Yeah, the problem that, yeah, we can hear you, but your voice is very low. So if you can,
Okay, I'll try and talk loudly.
yeah, now it's better.
Okay.
Go ahead. So, what do you expect from this course?
I don't really know, to be honest. Of the mandatory library program.
Library program. What do you mean by library program?
Library information. I'm always excited to learn anything new. So.
No. It is your first or second semester in the university?
My second semester.
Second semester. Have you already finished any programming course in the first semester or still not?
No, but I took CIS.
I see.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with HTML, something like this, or you're not familiar with this?
I'm a little bit familiar from experimenting back in experimenting with web design, but it's
okay.
10 years, so I'm pretty rusty.
So what about Batul? Now we just have already finished a discussion with her about what mean by HTML. She was very nice and she said, okay, it is about hypertext markup language. And then she said that it is hype. I said, okay, what is hypertext? Do you have an answer for this?
Not like an official answer.
So what about non-official one?
Well, hypertext is it's basically like linking.
Like what?
Like it links.
Perfect.
If I remember correctly.
So a hypertext in this case, it is a text that will link you to another text. This is hypertext. So normally when you will have a text now, a normal text, you write a text, but there is no link to another text. If there is a link, then it is a hypertext. There is no web without a hypertext. We'll talk about what mean about web. And thank you so much, Elliot. I'm saying your name in a correct way?
Yeah, Elliot.
Elliot. Okay, perfect. Thanks so much. So this is Brainy Smurf. I like it. When I was a teenager, I like it. So he will be with us and he will always ask us questions. Apart from our participation, we have to answer his question. If you don't answer his question, Angry will come. And Angry, if he will come, maybe he will kick us out of the course. So let's keep this guy out of the game and keep Brainy with us. So, oops. So Brainy has a first question for us today. Are the internet and the web the same, or there is a difference between them? We all hear the word internet and web. Maybe some of us, we suppose that they are the same, or internet and web. There is no difference. Internet is web is internet. What is the difference? So anyone has any information about if they're the internet and web the same, and what is the definition for both of them? By the way, I take screenshot of the attendance as apart from the attendance, just to let you know that I'm taking attendance here in this way. Okay, so again, so the question was, are the internet and the web the same? If there is no one had an answer, I can pick one to discuss with him the answer. Okay, Lucas, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm okay. I believe the internet is like a bunch of servers and whatnot, and then the web is like the client to access the servers.
The client, what do you mean? Okay, so You said as it is a bunch of servers, so a bunch of devices connected to each other, this is the internet.
Yeah.
So first, internet and web, they are not the same. What about the web now?
Isn't that like the client to access the internet, like internet
The client
browser?
to access the internet.
Like internet browser, for instance.
No, the internet browser is the tool that you use it to access the web. But the question is, what is web?
I don't know.
Thank you so much, Lucas. No, you give us half of the question, answer half of it about what is internet. It is correct. I agree with you. It is a bunch of computers or servers connected or devices connected to each other. Elliot, go ahead.
I believe the web is.
I'm sorry, you just have to talk in more louder.
Okay, sorry. The web, as far as I'm aware, it's more like individual databases. In a way, and then
individual databases. What do you mean by individual databases? Why
like,
you use the word individual?
Like the internet is a collection of the web databases. I suppose they don't have to be necessarily individual, but the internet sort of connects them all.
So let's finish this. And what we have already done with Lucas, that what he said, that I agree with him. It is set of computers or devices or servers. They are connected to each other. So it is a network of a network. So the network, this hardware connected to each other, this is the internet. It's a network. So now the discussion is, Elliot, is about what is the web. You so far you said that the web for you is individual databases.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I'm not 100% on that answer, but
no, it's okay. Just I'm open to this discussion with you, as I said, just to clarify it more. So maybe the terminology that you are using in the abbreviations, it's not so correct. However, you have something correct what you are saying about the data, about the information. So there is information being stored. So do you want to tell us that the web talk about this information? Is it correct, this?
Yeah, so it's sort of like different types of information, I guess.
Yes. So the web is the system plus this content that we use it to access different content that is being saved in this internet. So the internet will hold the web. So in a more easier way, I can say the web is the software and the hardware is the internet. So to agree, the internet and the web, they are not the same. So internet is set of network of networks. The web is the system that we are going to use to retrieve the data that is held in the internet. So this is totally different. Another question before I go to the more slides. Do anyone know who is the godfather of the web? Who the first one has to create this web? Somebody has already read about this. The father of the web is Berners-Lee. Yeah, go ahead, Lucas, go ahead. You just raise your hand, go ahead.
Never mind.
Okay. So yes, we'll talk about him also, about some history now during this lecture. So as we said, the internet is a massive network of networks. Like here, set of computers, I'm at my home now, connected to a router, you, all of us. And then there will be somehow a local or regional internet service provider, ISP, we name it, internet service provider, that it will connect you to other devices in the world wide. Like here, for example, Telecom is an internet service provider. And then using the gateways of the internet service provider, ISP, we will be all connected. So this is different networks connected to each other in different level. We name it internet. So the web is a way of accessing and sharing information over internet. I'm not talking about the browser itself. I'm talking about the way you access the information based on which standard and which standard you save this data. So we will hear later the word protocol. How this data is being saved, how we can retrieve them, and what kind of data we are going to retrieve. This is, by the way, the first website what we talked about Berners-Lee. It's still till today is being online. So internet is not the web. The web is a wide area hypermedia information retrieval system built on the top of the internet. Internet is the network of networks. So you should be aware of this. To be a nice programmer, when you will go later to make an interview with a company or different firm where I expect to work, they will ask you sometimes, always they said, they will ask me silly question. It is not a silly question. However, we ask this question to see the knowledge of this person. I want to tell you something out of the record, out of the course content. And this is always, I will tell this to my students or my team. If you will be a computer scientist or programmer or information system or business information system, so if you have to deal with information system and computer science, you should be aware that you will be always a student. Why I'm saying this? For example, now this lecture, I give it a long time ago using XHTML and old HTML version. Today, during the different lecture, I will give you based on HTML5, the newest version, because the newest version now has some privilege, some parameters that we have to discuss it. In the old version, we don't have this. So you always have to seek knowledge in your domain. You always have to read. You always have to update yourself. If you want to stay in the market and always get different promotion, we hear people not like people who have to go ahead and deal with different science like physics, biology, chemistry. These science, they have a standard protocols and standard material and standard knowledge. Okay, you can go ahead and dig more, but the knowledge is a standard. And the tools that use it somehow is not changeable with the time. In our case, not the same. Me, I'm still a student. I will stay a student till the end of my life. You will be always student here. So this is why you should always seek a knowledge. For example, most of us, not most of us, but yes, most of us hear about HTML. And maybe part of us know what I mean by HTML file, or maybe they have already seen the syntax or the tags of HTML. But most of us doesn't go and said, okay, what is HTML? Why they name it HTML? So knowing the concept, if you know the concept, you will train your mind that always you seek for the knowledge. This is very important what I'm saying. So now, again, this is maybe not the main core of the course. However, you should know about this. So also we hear about IP. So IP, I'll give an example that is similar to the IP concept. That when you register in UFZ as a student, you have a first name, last name, date of birth, and address. However, they will give you an ID. Why they give you an ID? It is a unique identifier. So they can identify you by comparing to other students in the campus. So all these devices, server or client, storage server or hosting server or DNS server, whatever it is, a kind of server, all these devices that are connected with each other in the internet should have a unique identifier to communicate with each other. So one will send a request to another one, the other one will send a reply, and then send a request to the third, and the third will send another request to the fourth. So any one of you now, if I want to and call him, I will not go, oh, you student. If I said you student, so I have a 20 student, you can all answer. But if I said, okay, Aiden, but if there will be 2 students named Aiden here, so I have to use another identifier rather than the name. So there should be always identifier using in this massive network. This is the IP. It's internet protocol because it is related to the protocol, so identifier related to the protocol. In the old version, it's still, we use IP version 4, which means 32-bit. However, because you have increasing number of devices that will be at the same time connected, so now we have the IP version 6, and I expect that later we'll have more versions of the IP. It is 128-bit. The IP will, some devices will have a static IP and some devices will have a dynamic IP. All of us now have a dynamic IP. Now I have an IP. If I shut down now, so the same IP somebody else can be used by somebody else. They will not allocate this IP only for me. They will allocate it for me. They will allocate it for me if, again, if this IP is, let's say, if this IP is static, I have already paid for this to be static. Why you have to pay for some IP to be static? Like servers. Like Locust one, so he said that there is a bunch of servers connected to each other. Yes. So these servers should have a static IP because these servers should be always active and online. So this IP, they should not be used by another device. So in this case, a static IP will allocate it to each other. The other users will not have a static IP unless you will ask your provider that I need a static IP for myself and you will pay for this. Sometimes you need a static IP to have a virtual access to this device when you'll be outside. So in this case, you can ask for a static IP, but normally no need for this. Only we need this when we have servers in this case. So how it will, this whole internet, how it work? So you will use one of your browsers as a user, Chrome, Internet Explorer, whatever it is, Firefox, one of them. And then you will go and write a website that you want to access, google.com. So in this case, you need to reach the web server that will hold the data from this website that you want to access. Your browser need to reach this server. So how he can reach it? So how your browser will know this google.com in this massive network, we name it internet, that there are millions, billions of devices. How your browser can know where is the server that he is searching for? You just type google.com. There is DNS server provider. I think in the state and in UK, there's a lot of DNS servers there. I don't know if Canada, there are some company that they provide this server. DNS server, your internet service provider, it has to connect you to this server before it connects you to the server that you are searching for. Why? This DNS server will tell you, okay, this google.com has this IP. By the way, this is a real IP for the Google server. If you write this IP now in your browser, you will go to google.com. So after knowing the IP of the google.com server, so now you can build a connection with the Google server and start sending requests and reply. We will talk about it later. So you need to know the IP of the server, who will tell you is a DNS server. So using your internet service provider, you will be connected first to the DNS, and the DNS will give your browser the IP, and then using this IP, it can go to the server that hosts the files of the website you are searching for. Normally now, if you want to create a new website, you should allocate a space in a hosting server, and either you will have your own dedicated server and you will pay a lot for this, or you can have a shareable server, which means that different domain name, like here google.com domain name, different domain name xyz.com, xyz.net, they can be hosted in one server. And in this case, when you go put xyz.com, the DNS will redirect you to the server where you. And sometimes when you will have a new hosting, the DNS server, it will take some time. They will update their database with a new domain. So this new domain in which hosting server it is. This is, we name it hosting server. And this is another, there is another database, we name it database management server. We will not talk about database system because we will talk about only front end or client side code. So in this case, there is no need to deal with this in this course. The CIS 245, you will deal with this. So you after you make this connection with a Google server, you said, okay, Google, what give me that? And you will get a reply from Google based on this. Yeah, Brainy, he has another question for us. Go ahead, Brainy. So, but network protocol to get data from the server to client, what it is. So we said that now we have a connection with the server. We said going to ask him for a request. We need these pages, and then we expect to get a reply from the server. So based on which standard we are going to communicate. Maybe this is what we mean by protocol in this case. Anyone can clarify for us more what we mean by protocol in general and here? I think most of us in our daily life, and we have already heard this word protocol. So what the protocol means, and here what we mean by it here also. Any volunteer, or I have to pick a volunteer? Kaj, K-A-J. Kaj.
Hi.
Hi, how are you today, Kaj? I'm saying your name in the correct way?
It's Kai.
Kai.
Yeah, sorry, it's spelled.
So I don't have to pronounce. Yeah, so Kai, okay. Go ahead, Kai.
I'm not really sure, sorry.
Sorry, what you said?
I'm sorry, I don't have a good answer for you.
No worry, it's okay. But let me ask you, I will help you. No, don't worry, no one is hearing us. Me and you are only talking with each other now. Okay, so normally the word protocol, haven't you heard before? Forget now about word programming. So I will ask you another question out of the course. When there is a president of a country X will visit country Y. So there is a special set of procedures how they will host him, or what do you think?
Yeah, I guess. So that's kind of what you mean?
Yeah, so in this case, you said, okay, some countries will say the presidents of the hosting country will meet at the airport. In some countries, the protocol say no, the president will meet him at the presidency palace. Is it correct?
I suppose so, yeah.
Yes. So in this case, there is a diplomatic protocol how they will host this visitor and how they will communicate with him when he will be there. They will not send, for example, a minister to welcome him at the airport. If he is a president, there is another president he has to welcome him. Yes?
Yep.
Because this is a protocol. So in this case, the protocol is a set of procedures that will make a standard about how we will communicate. There is another example. Before COVID-19, the protocol say that if two persons meet each other, they have to shake hands. And if two persons meet and they don't shake hands, from social perspective, it is somehow bad. You agree?
Yes.
Because the protocols say that when two persons meet, they have to shake hands. This is before COVID-19. Now, no. If you shake hands, this is bad. So in this case, the protocol, the social protocol says this. So the procedure of communication says this. The same here. Now you have a client that using the browser has a connection with the server where that host the website want to access. How they will communicate with each other, this is the internet protocol in this case.
Okay.
Do you have any knowledge about what is the name of the internet protocol is being used?
Not really, no.
Type Kai. When you go to your browser, you put Google, www.google.com. Before this, there's 4 letters. Do you see them? And now there are 5 letters. HTTP. You haven't seen this?
Yeah, I've seen that before. Mhm.
So what's this?
So that would be the protocol then?
Yes, this is a protocol.
Okay.
So the HTTP is the abbreviation of hypertext transfer protocol. Why we name it hypertext? Because we said the HTML is sorry, the HTML is stand for hypertext markup language, which means that it is a hypertext document. So we name it HTTP because it is a protocol to transfer this hypertext, and all documents in the web, they are hypertext. Is it clear?
Yeah, I understand now.
Can you repeat it for us?
Um,
No, you don't have to do it. Okay, Lucas, thank you so much, Kay. Lucas, I saw that you have already raised your hand. Are you still here, Lucas?
Yeah.
Do you want to add something?
No. I was just going to say what he said.
Yeah, okay, I have a question for you, Lucas. So we said there is internet now, there is HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, but now there is HTTPS also.
Uh-huh.
Do you know about this? What's this?
I do not know the difference between HTTP.
Yeah, but you have seen this HTTPS.
Yeah.
Especially when you go to your bank account, where there is a...
it's secure. It's a secure connection.
Yes. So this is a secure one. It has an SS layer. It is an upper layer of security that all this data transformation, this is hypertext transformation, it is secure, encrypted. So we name it HTTPS. Do anyone here know more protocols be used in the internet? The HTTP and the HTTPS is the main protocol when you access a website, but there are other protocols. Do anyone know about this protocol? What about FTP? FTP, file transfer protocol. Normally, this is when you as a developer, when you want to upload bunch of files or install or download bunch of files, you will use this protocol. But in this case, you have to use a special software for this, not the browser. The browser, all of the browser, they will use the HTTP or the HTTPS protocol in this case. Okay, thank you so much, guys. As I said, we need always to have this discussion to understand more the material. So we talk about what is a protocol. So far, we have already said what is a protocol. That for us, a protocol is the way we communicate. And we said that human protocol normally was they will ask in a way that first, what's the time? I have a question. So there is a way how we communicate with each other as a human being. In the network protocol, it is, as we said here, like the HTTP, it is more about how, based on which standard we are going to transfer the data between two different entities, like the client and the server in this case. So here we can see here in the internet, after we have a connection, first you will use TCP connection request reply to make this connection. And then we will start sending request reply using the HTTP format for the request and reply in this case. So you, as a client, using your browser, we said you have already established a connection after going to the DNS server and sending HTTP request. and then you expect HTTP response. So you, based on this protocol. So again, it is, in this course later, we will not deal with this. We will deal more about HTML document and CSS and JavaScript. But it will be nice that you will be familiar with this. So he said, what are the, Brainy are now asking what are web objects that we are going to expect when we have a response. So we will have HTML file plus different images and videos. We have already discussed this. So as we see, when you go to any website link, so you will have this. Oh, sorry. You will have the domain name, and you will have the protocol that you are searching for, and you should your web browser and the server that hosts your website or the website you are accessing it, they should agree on a special protocol. Is it HTTP or HTTPS? In order to understand how the request and reply format they are going to be sent. For example, like here, HTTP request message. So when your server send a request, the client, this is what your browser is going to do. You don't see this. The browser does this. After it establish a connection, like here, then the client will start asking the web server about different requests. A request can be a special document, a special file, or just the first image or the first web page in a website. So the request that your browser will send, it look like this. Either it should be GET or POST. The host, where the website, because this server maybe has different hosts, not only one host, which means different web page domain. And then it will tell about itself, your browser. What is Mozilla? What is this browser? Explorer? What's this browser? So it will talk about accept language. What accept language? French, English, whatever it is. Why is this? Because when the the server will send back a reply, he should know with whom he's dealing. Does this browser accept all languages? We are not talking about English and French and this Latin language. There are different languages in this world that sometimes have special characters. So, for example, if I'm accessing a website from the Far East from my computer that does not have this browser, doesn't have the needed encoding, decoding, maybe I will not get this browser in a correct way. So there are some information that the browser has to send to the server, that the server know more about what this browser can accept in order to display the HTML response that they will receive it from the server in this case. So the response that the server will send it also will send the HTTP version that he is going to communicate, because this HTTP that had different versions, this protocol, both of them, they should know on which stand of communication that are talking, the date, and will send information about the server, about himself. He said, I am Apache server. There are different web servers, Apache one of them. When in the next course, when we talk about PHP programming, we will talk more about Apache. And then we'll send the content. The content will be text.html, because your browser can understand HTML. The server will not send a server-side code to your browser, because the HTML code doesn't need a compiler like all other programming language. If you have a C++ code, Java code, whatever different code, you need a compiler to this. However, for PHP, you don't have this code. Sorry, for HTML, you don't have a compiler. Your browser, when you receive the HTML code from the server, is going to execute the code and display for you based on the code that receive it within the reply from the server in this case. This is just for you to know how the text and how the response. So Brainy said, okay, what is HTML? We have already discussed what's HTML. So let's take a real case scenario. So you go to your browser, you put facebook.com. So it's either HTTP or now it's HTTPS. So you send Facebook using the HTTP protocol, request arrival to the server of the Facebook, whenever it is New York and USA. And then you will get a response. The response will hold the HTML code that you needed, plus CSS code and other web object like maybe images or videos. And then after your browser receives this code, you will not see the HTML code. You can inspect and see the code, but the browser will display the code, which means that this code is going to be executed by the browser, and the browser will display for you the code that received from the server in this case. So what actually the server will send is what really you are going to see in your browser in this case. So your browser doesn't have any information. It has to wait the reply from the server. There is nothing being installed in your machine. Everything being saved in the server. So the server will send you the HTML document that your browser will create the display for you to display all data based on what was sent for you. This is an HTML document that later we will talk about it deeply. Here we can see this is an HTML document. And here we can see that this HTML file, that the browser will display it, but as a code, it is set of tags. We will talk about it later. So here, Tim Berners-Lee that we talked about it. This is the godfather or the father of the web. He's the first person to create the hypertext markup language. He created the language to create a hypertext, because without hypertext, there is no web. If you can stay in a one document and you can't go to another document, this is not anymore web. So he created, this is HTML for this. This person, the whole human being, was always owe him something, because without his invention, we don't have this now standard. Still till today, we are using his standard. And this is, well, with different updates for the standard. And this is the first web page he has already created. So he made this HTML hypertext markup language. And then he said, okay, we create these different files. And this file will be in a server, and there the client will want to access these files. So based on which standard their communication will happen, and then they have to go to make the protocol. So the hypertext protocol came from the hypertext concept, and the HTML hypertext markup language also came from the hypertext concept, as we said. HTML is enough for programming, it is not enough. So knowing HTML, you can create a static web page, but in reality, there is no static web pages being used. Most of the web pages will be dynamic and connected to a database system that always be updated, like the Blackboard or UFE website, that the content will be always updated using a control panel. So this is, you are going to learn it in another course. So we will take, since it is an introductory course, it is first year course, you are going to learn just how to create a static web pages as a prerequisite for the second course that you will hope you will get it soon, the next year. So this is what I was saying, that this is the scope for our course, and this is the scope for the next course. Here, you will learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript from this course. And there are different frameworks. The word framework means that there are, if you want to create a responsive one, I will do my best that we finish Bootstrap, and if we will have more time, I will go to more. But the main scope of the course is to learn these 3 different languages: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and go ahead with one of the frameworks. And if we have more time, we'll go further in this. But the minimum, we have to finish these 3 languages. The add-ons will be Bootstrap, more time, we'll go more frameworks. This is the server side, the code that will be in the server, like either I want to talk about backend language database. This will be in the other course, as I said. So let's start with the HTML language. If you want, I can give you a break, 10-minute break, and we will back after the break. Do you want to take a break? If you want to have a break, you have to give me 3 thumbs up. 3 thumbs up. Make a 3 thumbs up that 3 of you make a 3 thumbs up to take a break, or we will stay here. Okay, and another one I have, so 2. I have 2 thumbs up. Yes. I need more 1, or I will continue. So I have 2 persons that they accept to have a break. The other don't accept. I'm sorry, K. Gominant and K, I'm sorry, the others don't want to have a break, so we will continue. Normally, I will. So go ahead. Who want to talk?
Oh, it's okay.
No, the point that if you want to have a break, I should ask the other. So if minimum 3 ask to have a break, I will go to a break. Yeah, so let's continue now. So first, HTML. Brady has already started learning HTML. So he said, Brady, now let's learn together HTML in this case. So again, now, according to the course, we have to finish HTML, then we go to the CSS, because the CSS will tell us about how we are going to style the content of HTML. Then we have to go to JavaScript to make some event handling. And at the end, we will go to work with Bootstrap. This is the roadmap of our course. So this is the history of HTML. You can see here this guy, Turner Berners-Lee. So he, as we said, he has already invented the WWW, the World Wide Web, then the HTML, and he put the first version of HTML, and then somebody else has to make this HTML plus, and then we will have HTML2 version 2, and then we have this organization, worldwide organization W3C, that take care of make this recommendation. Then we start with HTML 3.4, and then we'll go to the XHTML. XHTML that you can have an HTML file, and you can write also XML code. People who are talk about XML code, maybe we'll talk about it later. By the way, I give this course for different levels. Once I give it XHTML, and then once HTML5 started, we start shifting to HTML5. I do my best to be more oriented to HTML5 because it's more needed in the market. So I will try to have more examples about HTML5 when we go with different examples in this course. So HTML elements. What I mean by element here is that for us, the HTML consists of series of elements. The element is a tag. This is an element, and this element, it should have a close tag and an opening tag and a close tag, and there is a content here. We will talk more. Sometimes some tags you don't have to have a content with it. Sometimes you close it within the same tag. I'm talking about the element. This element, for example, is about a header. Sorry, it's about heading. And this is another element about p paragraph. We will talk about and see more examples. So for us, as we see here, just I saw an example here. Yes, it is set of different tags, and each tag resembles an element. So this is an element. This is an element. This is an element. This is an element. All there are elements. The head is an element, the body is an element, and there are nested element will be in this case. So, and they said, yeah, they will be nested, but you should nest it in a correct way, which means that if you put B and A, don't close A before you finish B. And this element will have an attributes. You can include it with it. We'll talk about it more about the attributes, like the ID, the name. This attribute, we will play with them more when we go to the CSS, because we will give different style for the element based on different parameters and the value for these parameters. So there is a terminology, we name it document object model structure. Document object model structure is a document object model where you will have a hierarchy between them, because you have a nested one. For example, here, you will have here A contain B, C, F. You see this? A contain B, C, F, and C contain D and E. So this is, we name it document object model as a structure that we can be used for a document. This structure is being used by HTML. So let's take this example. So this example is our first web page for us. So we can see that there is the HTML we have always, and we close it, and we have a head, and we have a body. So this is always HTML document will have a head and will have a body. We will talk more today about what we will have in the head, and we will start talking about what different example we can have it here in the body. And the body is what we will see here. So what you will see here is what is a different element you included in the body. Like here we will have the header, a heading. Here we'll have a paragraph. You see here headings. We have different level of headings. We will talk about it later. Here we will have a paragraph, and we close this paragraph. So when we said a paragraph, which means that we'll start a new line. So now, do we have to use a special editor to use? No, just a notepad. I will do it with you today. Let's go now. Open, I will go ahead, make a new, so let's say, let's go to a notepad. I can use Notepad++ or Notepad, whatever, both of them, they're okay. So if I go return here, not to return, sorry. So if I go to the code that we're talking about, oh, it was closed, sorry, just give me 1 second. Yeah, here it is. So here, if I go here and write this code here, let me write in a better way. So this is HTML. This is add. Maybe this is because I make a copy paste. So this is. Let me organize it. This is, I'm talking about the examples that we have already seen it now. So here's a head, here's a body. You can see that when I start HTML, I start this, then here I should have a head. And here, let's just make some alignment. It's better to have this alignment too. It will be better for us to understand more our code. Try your best always to have this alignment. So here, you can see here, so just I make a copy paste from the code. So this is as a document, we'll talk about what means the document type now. So there is a head, and it is a must to have a title in the head. So if I change here, let's make it here page title. We said, okay, CIS 145. So here, this is I close the head, then I open body tag. We talk about more here. I put this paragraph, this is a paragraph. on CIS 145. So now I will save the file, save as. So I said all document. I said my first page. Dot HTML. So I will save it in my desktop. My first page .html. So where it is, my first page. You see, automatically my browser is considered as a web page because I saved .html. So if I double click, here it is. So it gives a name, CIS 145, as you see, because this is a title I admit in the code, and this is the heading, and this is the paragraph here. So if you want to edit again the code, I will go here, edit with a notepad, whatever it is. Here it is here. This notepad has a lot of. So here you can see. So this is the code. So I can change it CIS underscore whatever it is. What is our section? Like I don't know, AB. Let's say AB. So just I want to save it. So go ahead to here. You see it changed the name CIS AB. So the HTML code, it is no compiler needed. We can use more advanced editor, but I don't want you to do it now in this course at this level. At the end, we will do it with Bootstrap, whatever other. But here, as if we are at the end, I want you to understand more the code and the concept. So just use a notepad. That's all, or Notepad++. Nothing needed. There is no compiler. If you are going to learn C++ or Java or any other programming language, you should have a compiler that will change the code from a syntax code to the executable code. However, in our case, no need for this because the browser is going to make an executing for this. Whenever this .html, by default, the browser will make executing. We didn't see here the code. If you see here, there is no code for this, but go ahead, view page source. You can see here the page source. So because your browser display the content of this code. Here said that in the head there is a title, so it make a title for you. Here said there is a heading, so when it's displayed, it displayed as a heading. So this is a paragraph. It's then another paragraph, so it starts with a new line. So this is all done by your browser in this case. Maybe not today, but starting next time, we will, during the sessions, we will divide ourselves to different groups. And we will practice this today because it is introductory one. And we have a lot of discussion concerning about different concepts of the course. But starting next lecture, we will have different, how to say it, different group work exercises. And I will give you bonus to the group work exercises to the assignment. So the 10% grade about participation and attendance is based on your attendance and participation. However, involving the group work exercises, I will select some groups that will do it in a very quick way. We'll talk about it later, and they will get bonus for the assignment in this case. Let's return back to the lecture, where it is close the lecture. Yes, you were here. So we said that this is a file that we talk about that we create with each other using a notepad. So the structure will be of, if you can see the HTML, we will have a head, as you see here, and then we will have a body, as you see here. The body will have different elements. So before we go here, there is here doc type. This is just an information about the document. It is not a part of the code of the document, which means that it will not affect the display. So this represents the document type and help browsers display work correctly, that your browser understand more about this file. Normally, if it is HTML5, so it will be HTML, and if it will be HTML, as we said, different here. You see here? So if it will be XHTML, it will be XHTML. So now you will have information about this in the doc type. It is not a must to have it, but it's better to have it. So let's go to the head. So the head, it is a must to contain a title, as we have already seen now. So your title, you can start and closing this tag, and you can go ahead and put the whatever title. You can. It has also two optional elements, which means that it is not a must to have it. You can include it and you cannot. So the meta and the link. So what about the meta? The meta, it is a tag. It is an optional that you can include it in the head, like here. With the title, you can put it. But it has to do nothing with what was going to be displayed in your document. So it is a metadata. Anyone know what you mean by metadata? Have you already heard in your life metadata? It's out of the web. Metadata. Metadata. Okay, let me choose a volunteer to help me. Batul. Batul, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Have you already heard before about metadata? Kayla raised hand, so go ahead and answer this. Don't let them beat us and give us the answer.
So metadata is data about
wait,
data.
Wait. We have to give more time to Batul, I said. Okay, it seems that Batul doesn't have an answer. Go ahead, Kayla, you are correct. Go ahead.
Sorry, my internet glitched out and I didn't hear that part.
No.
So it's smaller bits of data, so data about data.
Data about data, perfect. I agree. So it is a data about data. Can you give an example? 100% correct. Can you give an example? Jamie said it is the Facebook new name. Yes, correct. So, Kayla, do you have an example about metadata? By the way, this is a meta. It is as a word. It has something, but metadata. Metadata. It has what Kayla said. Kayla, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Do you have an example? What you said is correct. It is a data describing another data. So do you have? Okay, let me help you.
Sorry.
What kind of songs do you hear?
What kind of songs?
Yes. Want to tell us?
Do you mean genre or file type?
Yeah, I'm just asking what kind. Jazz, whatever it is. What is the kind of songs you hear normally?
Oh, okay.
Like to hear?
Pop songs.
Okay. So normally, if you are going to hear a song and you like it, you will search for the lyrics or the word of the song. Yeah.
Yes.
So this lyrics and the person, the writer, this lyrics information about his name, where we can find it?
Typically online or sometimes in a lyric book.
Yes. So yes. So this is online source. This file that talk about the song, about the lyrics and the writer of the lyrics. This is a metadata example about the song, because the song itself, it is a data. It is an audio file. So another file describing the lyrics and the writer and different information about the date. This is a metadata file because it is describing a data for another file, another data. Is it correct, Kayla?
Yes, it sounds correct.
Yeah, okay. So, and here, returning here to this meta. So meta, it is some information, this meta tag, it is some information, we can add an information about the website. Why we need it sometimes. So it is very important for the search engines, because search engines normally when they make indexing to your website, for example, your website talk about let's say about information about education. So if I search for education website, it has to give me different websites. So in order that your website will be in them with this search engine list, you should tell the search engine that this website has this keyword. So these keyword, you can include it in the meta. So because I said meta is about metadata information scraping another information, another data. So you can include different keywords about your web page within this meta tag. Plus, you can create different, like here, we talk here, the content we're telling here is student learning. So the search engine can understand more about this in this case. Again, this tag or this element is an optional one. It's up to you. If you see here, I close it here. So this is another way to close a tag. If you don't put a content in it, just a parameters. So you can do it like this, or you create a slashback. If not like this, do it like this meta. So both are correct. Because there is no content, I have to put it here, just parameter. So I make a shorthand doing like this. So another optional we can put it is a link. So don't be confused or ambiguous between link and hyperlink that we will see it later. A link, it is, we can put it in a head whenever we want to make a link between this document and another resources. For example, in the link tag, is often used to use external style sheet. For example, later when we talk about CSS, not now. This is, by the way, is a CSS file. So later when we talk about CSS file that include different style, so this style, we are going to use it here in this HTML file. So in order to make a link between these two documents, we can use the link tag. Or we can also use the link tag defined by external resources. Like here, for example, we use it to have the icon one. If you see that, we said, okay, that href, so we can use it for the favorite icon. I changed the icon here for the website that we have already done it. So now we start with the body. The body is what we see here, everything. It is the main part of the HTML document. So we have a lot of tags. We will discuss the most important tags here in the course, but doesn't mean that there is no other tags. There are still other tags, but for time limitation, we can't discuss all tags here. But you should know that there are a lot of tags that you can use it here. We will talk about some of them today, and we will continue talking about next and maybe after next lectures. And even though after we finish all this, still there are tags that maybe we can't include here, but they exist. So normally when we talk about the tag body, there are two types in general tags, inline and block line. When I talk about inline, which means that they will affect a line, or there's a tag that they will be affect a portion from the body. So like the paragraph, it will take a space from the portion of the body. We'll discuss them later, like you see here. So now here, for example of a P paragraph. So I start P, close P. The first things you have to know about the paragraph is that line breaks and multiple spaces are ignored in HTML. So if you write it like this, you will get like this. So again, here, like this here, I want to learn web programming. So you see, And then after you finish the line, you can go to another line, depend how much text you here put it. So another point, if P is not found at the beginning of the line, HTML treat it as, so like this here. So if P, this second one, even though you can still, there is a space to put it here, but whenever there is a P, your browser will put it here at a new line in this case. We can insert a break. We can insert a break, which means that this is a break having a new line. Having a new line like here, suppose here in the paragraph, we want, even though the line is haven't finished, so you can use BR. And now in the HTML5 also we can use it, even though without this it can be work also. So if you want to make a line like here, so we can do it using a line like here, using HR. So HR, you can create a line for this. If you want to write a comment in HTML file, when I said in a comment, which means that this will not affect other part from your code. Sometimes we make a comment for us as a developer. Sometimes we make a comment that there are special code we want to comment it, and later we'll go back to it. So you can do it like this using this, or you can using this if you want to do it. Both like in this case, oh sorry, if you can put the whole code within this comment in this case to comment it so it will not be displayed. Headings, we have already seen it. Headings, it is like this. So we have in HTML 6 level of headings. It's just if you want to have a different proportional text font, which means start the H1 will be the font with the size, the bigger side, and then we go down like this. So headings in this case, you can use it here. Div and span, we will see it in the CSS more than here, just to know about this here. So div in this case will be when we will create, we want to have a block of element within the file, and the span when we take a part of an element. Why we need them? Because if suppose that we will have a paragraph and we will have an HTML paragraph, you will have different tags. So in this case, you going to give the same style, you put in the same container. So just give me 1 second here, I'll be back. Sorry, kids come here, so I forgot to close the door. So div is like a container. So you have a set of elements, you have to give the same style. You put them in a div, and then you give a style for the div. We'll see it later, as I said, when we talk about CSS. Just to let you know about these tags. As you see, that all elements, they are a set of tags. The more tags you learn, the more elements you are going to learn. So this is an example. I will not discuss it here because it's talk about more about here. You can see here. Here we will talk about the class. We give a style. So in this case, so part of the paragraph we can give it a different style comparing to other part. And div, we will talk that set of element we can put it in the same container. In this case. So again, so it just, we can use this not for the display, to arrange them in the same container that later we give them the same style that we needed. So now let's suppose that you are going to include an image in your HTML file, an image. So if there is a tag, we name it image. It can be image, can be JPG, GIF, or whatever kind of image, but normally JPG or GIF is being used more in the web. But because, why this? Because again, this image will be transferred from the server to the client. So we don't need to have a huge size of files, because if this will have, in this case, when you are going to load the website, it will take a very long to be loaded. So in this case, we should be aware that the size of the images that we are going to include on our website will not have a huge size. Later, when any person will access our website, it will not take a very long time till the display will appear, because the display will appear by your browser after getting the whole content from the server. The bigger size you will have, the longer time for loading the website you will have. So images, we will have here, this images, we have a tag, we name it an image. It has two parameters, source and alternative. Source, it take the source of the image you want to do. Normally, if we are, this is the HTML file will be here in our HTML file, or XHTML will be here in our document. So we will be aware that this image will be either in the same folder where we will have the HTML file. If it will be in another folder, we have to put the complete path of this image in this case. Let's take this example. So here, this example, we can see here in the head we have a title, and then we will have here in the body, this is a body. We will have here heading H1 and 2, 3, you can see here. We play with the font size based on the headings that we will have. And then we will have a paragraph. And then within this, I make an inline tag, the image. You see this? So I will give the source. Alternative, do anyone know what mean by alternative, or what do you think that alternative will mean here? Why we have this alternative? So why should have this alternative? So I can just have an image source and give the source that, and then we'll display this image. Anyone know what mean by alternative? Go ahead, who is this? Johan, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that it's if the image doesn't show, that's what ends up showing. Is that it?
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. You are correct. If the image doesn't show for some issue, maybe that is not anymore exist in the server, where the location here. So in this case, this text will appear here rather than the image. So alt is alternative to the image as a text, what you are going to display if the image cannot be displayed. So this is also another example about the image here. Source, here I have to put the images. Normally when we create a website, we will have a special folder for images. We name it images, whatever it is. So here I said images and give the image for this website. So here, let's talk now about the hypertext. Hypertext for today. Hypertext is, this is not like the link we talked about it in the head. The link we talked about it in the head, it is to make a connection between two documents. However, no, the hypertext, you need, this is the hypertext link. Hypertext, the main concept of the web, which means that we said a hypertext, it has a link to another document. So how we create this link? Using this hypertext link. So if we use it, it is A. You see, this is A. So just we are going to make href, which gives the path where we have to do it. So in this case, you can see here, when you press one of them, it will take you to another document or another address, whatever it is. So here, just as simple as you create an A, you close this A, you put here that content that is going to be viewed here. Here, the user will see here, click here to go to other HTML document, and then we will put here the address or the link using href, href, what's it, href attribute. So this is what I want to share it for you for today. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, the next week, we will go more deeply about learning different tags. I hope that today you enjoy these lectures and you can, you have already understood more about the main concept about web internet and different, what we mean by protocol, and also about the main structure of HTML document. And we will go deeply about it. And the next time we will have a group work. I will break you down at the end of the lecture, and I will give each group, it will be a one task, we will distribute it, and then I will create different room, and then I will ask you to go back to the main room. It is just you'll get a bonus for this. This is just to practice. No practice, you can't learn any programming language. It is the same when you learn a language, because in my case, I have to learn different languages because I study in different places. So I learned that if I want to learn a language, I have to practice it. Without a practice, I will never learn a language. The same for programming. Without a practice, and by the way, most of the students will do this mistake, that they suppose that they read the lecture, okay, we understand, but when you go to make a practice, they will get lost because they didn't practice this. So all examples, go ahead home and do again and practice them. I will upload the lectures, and we will make a group work next time with us. If there is any feedback you want to share it with me today, I will be very happy to hear it. You have always not be shy. Even though you don't have a question, go ahead directly and give a feedback. Maybe sometimes the feedback will enhance the way you are delivering the course. I'll be very happy to get a feedback from you. So if you don't have any more question, I need now thumbs up, 3 thumbs up, or I will stay here. Now some thumbs ups will come so quick now. I said, if you want to leave, you should give me a thumbs up. No thumbs up, no leave. Many thumbs up. Okay, it seems I don't like it today. You want to leave so quick. I enjoy it with you guys. Take care. Have a nice, good evening. See you next week. Take care all.